All right, India now stepping into war mode. I'm going to take you through the big directive that's coming from the Ministry of Home Affairs. Sirens, blackouts, evacuations. India is gearing up for what looks like a war preparedness drill of a scale that we've never seen in recent history. In an unprecedented move, the centre has directed states to activate full-scale civil defence measures, a step usually seen in war-torn nations and not peacetime India. Sources tell us the Ministry of Home Affairs has issued an urgent advisory to several states, asking them to conduct mock drills on the 7th of May, that's a day from now, a simulation of how the country would respond if at all war breaks out. Now, these drills go far beyond routine protocol. They're designed to mimic wartime scenarios, train civilians in survival tactics, and test how quickly local administrations can respond to threats. Now, here's what the plan will really look like. As per the MHA, air raid sirens will blare across districts to test alert systems. This is what our sources tell us as to what the MHA has planned. Blackout exercises will cut off power and lighting across zones to avoid any aerial detection. Camouflage measures will be enforced to hide vital installations. Evacuation rehearsals will be conducted with real-time coordination. And yes, civilians, that's school children also to be taking part in these drills, like what we saw in Kashmir schools. Here are some of the images that came in of students in schools of Kashmir who are largely living around the border area there, are currently being trained to hit the ground, shield their heads and sprint to safety, practicing what to do if in case a siren goes off. Civilians across India will now be drilled to respond like clockwise, literally like machines. If at all missiles fall or bombs hit, what next to do? This is no routine protocol. It's a country now training for survival. And those are images that have come in the last few days of schools in Kashmir getting ready. And here's the same Ministry of Home Affairs asking for similar drills to be carried out across India. So India now getting up for survival. It's a response that we are awaiting. If it does, we've got to be mighty prepared. MHA's civil defense drills directive very clearly says that we are prepping up for a major military move now. It's no question and no doubt that we are moving forward and a big military move is awaited. If Pakistan retaliates, the conflict may not stay limited to our borders. Cities like Delhi and Mumbai could be very well in the line of fire. While the IAF and air defenses are strong, the centre wants full civilian readiness, and which is why we're seeing mock drills that's going to be conducted on the 7th of May. It's not just the border states, several other states also have been directed. Now we're going to get some concrete details in a few hours from now, but this is what our sources tell us, that states across India have been sent out an alert to carry out these mock drills. The threat of conflict is no longer abstract. You should know that India isn't now waiting for the first strike. This, in fact, is to show that we are ready for any strike on any front at any time. Well, there you have it. Let me take you through our guest on the panel here to give us a little more. Abhishek Yadav, Rameshwar Yadav, apologies there, Lieutenant General Rameshwar Yadav joining me live. Sir, your take and a message that you would like to give to fellow Indians at this point who are looking at these directives as a warning that war is impending. What do you think, in your expertise, how do you break down this directive that's coming from the Ministry of Home Affairs asking for states to carry out mock drills?
You see, these are routine and the normal instruction during wartime. This is primarily to reduce the casualties in the civilian areas, and the certain precautions have to be taken as regards to our strategic installations and the population staying closer to these installations. So it is primarily a normal drill, primarily trying to tell them, look, there are chances that these areas may be impacted because of the war. So these are prepared, these are done to prepare the civil population for a warlike situation. So it is important, and especially to look at it the way people go about their routine activities. Now there are going to be certain restrictions, some blackouts may be imposed, and some other actions can be taken. So civil defense is a normal routine thing during warlike situations, and this is what it is.
So you're saying that this is preparedness for a war-like situation. You know, for the last 2-3 years, we've been seeing very closely what's happening between Russia, Ukraine, and then Israel and Gaza. We saw similar drills that were carried out in those countries. Never did we imagine that we in India will have to be going through this. We also have Sanjay Mestin. Thanks very much, General, for joining us. Your take as India now prepares for a targeted military operation, and there's no doubts in that. How real is this threat of escalation? How do you decode this message coming in from the Ministry of Home Affairs?
See, Nabila, one thing is very clear. This time it is not going to be repeat of Balakot. Definitely it is going to be an upgraded form. And that is what the whole issue is. That the Pakistanis are clear that the Indian strike would be different this time, in where the dimensions would be very obviously different. And I think it could be sea-based, air-based, or anything. All options are open, including army. So everything is open. So they have a panic, and therefore, in such a case, the issue is that number of times it is expected that the enemy will obviously retaliate. So retaliation would be expected. Now, our air defense measures, passive air defense, active air defense measures, everything would be put on high alert once, if, whenever something happens, that is, if, whenever the balloon goes up. But the fact of the matter is that these are drills, now which people of India have to be prepared, the MHA which has announced, and therefore these are measures which have been instituted by the civil defense. And this is basically to alert the people. Secondly, is people should at least realize what is a air raid warning, what is a siren, what are the implications, what are the necessary drills. It's not only that it is blackout, even daytime, anything can happen. Some missiles or drones can be launched. So people have to be aware, because the moment our radars detected, immediately, in the hinterland, all sirens, wherever, the direction of that missile oblique drone is, those will be intimated. So those will be such quick operations that people will have to be immediately reacting, not staying in built up areas or coming out in open and taking lying position. There are basic drills. And of course, all the vital areas and vital points which are of the country, especially close to the border, so they need to be protected. So obviously there is an apprehension of escalation, because Pakistan definitely will retaliate. There is no doubt, because once we strike him, the retaliation is expected. But there are a large number of issues. What is his staying power? What is his credibility in terms of his armed forces, numerical superiority, and the state of his, military hardware. So that is in quite a state of, I would say, it's quite bad. But nevertheless, we have to be prepared. We have two live wars are going on as on date: Russia, Ukraine, and Israel, Hamas. So we have seen other day even a Houthi missile has struck the airport in Israel. So we have to take all precautions. We have to do a realistic assessment of the enemy, and realistic assessment implies that neither we overestimate and neither we underestimate. So these are all precautionary preventive drills, which all students, everyone in the country have to be aware, especially close to the border states. Nabila.